Welcome to the Sweet Talks podcast. Again, it's Chantal.
Hi, it's Nikki.
And Brianna.
Claudio. We switched positions this week. So we are going to focus this week on dealing with family dynamics. So it is the week of Christmas. This is probably going to drop on Christmas Day, I think.
Why not?
You guys are eating well.
Merry Christmas to you.
Season's greetings.
About pass out. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about dealing with family dynamics, and this is actually because I came across an article talking about how the most arguments within a family are actually at Christmas time, which I'm laughing, but I can definitely see how that would work. Yeah. And it's trying to show the perspective of like different people kind of coming together after having not really been around each other for quite some time. Sometimes even like misunderstandings because you're not used to reasoning in a particular way and all that kind of different stuff because family dynamics. So I don't know if on your journeys you guys have had to ever deal with families or even in your own families. If you want to talk about that, you don't have to. But maybe instances where you've seen maybe some family dynamics go left.
I think Christmas or any kind of festive season, depending on what you or if you believe in anything.
Some people just take it as a holiday, though.
That's what I'm saying. So if you believe in anything, I think in any circumstance, being around family in a pressurized situation is always challenging. I mean, it's great for those people that have a family and everyone gets on with each other. That's amazing. But the average person, that's not the case. As in, everyone gets on with everybody. So I feel like these times things are bound to kind of come up or bound to have issues. Somebody hasn't forgiven somebody from pushing them off the screen 25 years ago, and and this and this happened, and this happened, and mommy doesn't treat brother like so and so, but she treats me like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always somewhere, and then the kids that are not kids anymore, kids that are young adults. They're in a really different generation, and then the kids have got kids now, and blah 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 blah. And so, I think it's normal. I really think it's normal. I think it's normal that families become challenging. I think, unfortunately, sometimes it goes a bit too far, and it can become quite toxic and abusive. And but then I would hope that you're not surrounding yourself with those type of people, family or no family. Easier said than done. 10,000% and especially, I feel like, especially if you belong to a certain culture, it's not easy to just walk away. It doesn't exist, not unless you want to be shunned, but sometimes it's necessary. But again, 10,000% easier said than done. So I don't know. I think that's why I was saying in the previous episode that a lot of people also dread these times, because it means that you're potentially seeing the cousin that you only see once a year, but you can't stand them. You can just barely deal with them just for that couple of hours of that day. So I think there's many things that kind of crop up for a lot of people, many things that come up. And I can imagine that it's probably extra difficult for those people that have been mistreated by family members again. And especially if the family aren't supportive of you and understanding that mistreatment. And I can see why people then tend to have their own, little family Christmases, like, you know, people might branch off from that big family member. Like, for example, like, you know, if you've been brought up in a big family and one person's done you wrong, for example,
Right.
and then you decide to have your own family and you do your own thing. So just for the mere fact that you don't have to interact with that side of the family or those particular people, I can see why you do that. You know, I guess intention, you know, what's the reason behind you starting your own family, blah, blah, blah. We ain't gonna go into all that, but yeah, I really don't know what else to say, but yeah.
I definitely hear it.
Yes. Sorry, sweetie. Go for it.
In terms of family dynamics,
It's challenging.
it is challenging. You know what the thing is? I can actually recall like a few. Ooh, sorry, hold on. So yeah, families are definitely challenging. I can think of a few examples. I'm not gonna name the people that were in this. I will not. But there was. Let's just say that their mum came. These are all grown people. These are all people that are 40 plus, and their mum came around, and it was almost like you saw regression.
Wow.
I don't know. And it was all of them. It wasn't just one. It was all of them. Every single one of them. These people, I swear to God, turned into big kids. They just turned into big kids. And it was mad.
Controlling? She's obviously controlling.
No, the mum, it wasn't the mum. The mum didn't do anything. The mum did not do anything. They were like, Mommy this, Mommy that, Mommy can I get, Mommy, swear to God.
Oh, okay, well, it's done then.
That's like, huh? Kind of scary. The second thing that I have seen within families that I think that causes quite a lot of contention, but this is more so from the therapeutic side, is kind of what you were talking about earlier, like kids growing up and parents maybe not really being able to take that their kids have grown up. Or their kids might have different perspectives, or that their kids might have different ideas, or that their kids might have a different view on life in general.
Or that the kids are grown as people.
Or that their kids are grown as people and they want to keep them as kids. I mean, that does happen as well.
Right.
But I think that families that I've definitely worked with over the years, from working in the court systems for a little while, and then even in like mental health and stuff, I'd say that is one of the biggest things, is not listening to each other, or people not being who you want them to be. Like, the expectation is that this person should be this, but actually, like, I don't know, if you have a child that wants to be an astronaut, for instance, but you want them to be a doctor, and then they're like, but I want to be an astronaut. Sometimes that can cause a lot of conflict. Yeah. And I think sometimes it can be quite bullying, like trying to make it.
Yeah.
From the families that I've seen, and probably within my own as well, if I'm honest. There's quite some streaks of bullying. You know, like wanting people to be how they want them to be rather than who they are, which I think is a bit.
Definitely. I think parents have an idea of what they want for their children. They're already kind of planned it.
That's it.
When your child doesn't fall in line with what you've hoped for that person, what you can see in their lives, it's heartbreaking for them. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes they try and use that as control, or and no one said it's right, but I can empathize and understand the desire that, or the whatever their plan was for that child. I know, like, I know what I know in particular myself. What my dad had for me has not turned out. I've gone the other
What did
way.
he want you to be?
Anything that he could brag about. So like doctor, lawyer,
Oh, okay.
the typical.
The typical stuff.
Because there's only 4 careers that we can have anyway.
Doctor, lawyer, engineer, maybe accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, basically. So I can understand it because I feel like if I was to have my own child, I'll be like, oh my gosh, you'd be so good if you were, or whatever. But nevertheless, I think once a child person has decided, okay, actually I want to do this, I feel like then it's your. I feel like you're just supposed to just support them, whether you understand it or not, whether you agree with it or not.
Right.
You say how you feel, say your opinion in a loving and healthily way. Don't be toxic
I agree.
about it. And then you move on. Do you know what I mean? As long as they're not killing anybody or harming anybody, what's your business? If it goes wrong for them, at least they know that they have done everything within their power. It just didn't work out for them. That child can go to sleep knowing that they did that. You don't have the opportunity to do it. That like I can't really. It's like a pain. It's like a. I can't remember the word, but I think everyone's been through it. I've been through it, and I think it's just, yeah. And I think also a lot of it is generational. I think that generation, they are different.
Yeah. 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 That's. I can't.
Reflective. Yeah.
This is the first episode that we're all stuck for words.
The thing is, I don't think I'm not that stuck, but I'm just like, I don't know how much I'd get forgiven for airing out.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm like,
yeah, you're thinking like, well, should I say it? Should I not say?
Yeah.
And that's how you know. By the way, our listeners, that's how you know we're people. We are real people. Same way you feel about, oh, should I do this? Should I do? Hey, we feel it too, To
be honest, I don't mind. I just know that the person I would be talking about would.
Yeah,
that would be the issue.
You still feel torn though. That's you still feeling.
Yeah, torn. It's just long. You just can't take the talking. That's the part that I'm like, what, allow it. But if it wasn't for that, I probably would have said what I need to say a long time. But it's just like, God, I can't take this.
Families are challenging.
Yeah, they can be.
You know what?
We love them. They love us. They're challenging.
True. Yeah. So, guys, whilst we're on the topic then of it being a challenge, so when we're challenged, how do you think is best to try and deal with it?
How best to try and deal with it? My goodness, it depends on who you are. I think. What was you gonna say?
I was gonna say drink a few drinks. I was gonna say I will not drunk this out. I'm joking. Don't do that.
No, if I was to drunk up myself, that's only ever happened 3 times in my lifetime. But if I was to ever drunk up myself, the truth tends to spew like. So I don't know if and it's the unfiltered version. So like whilst I'm sober, I can filter certain things. It's the unfiltered version. It comes out a bit mad.
Yeah. That's what it is. No, you're joking. Don't do that. So how can you manage it?
It comes back to what you said earlier about communication. Communication. If there's no communication, if it's completely broke down, it might be best to just have space and time. That's what I would say. I could be wrong, but it's like re-traumatizing, can be quite painful. You know what I mean? This is your heart you're talking about. You have love for these people, these family members. So just for me, space and time. I'm always open to listen. I'm always open to listen and try to understand. And if and hopefully the other side, or that's the case as well, then the communication can work.
Yeah.
But if it's not the case on my side, it ain't gonna work. If it ain't the case on that side, it ain't gonna work. And if it both ain't on the same, then so yeah, timing is key, I think, as well. We choose our battles, guys.
Definitely. Definitely.
Because it is a war sometimes. And who's gonna say something?
I was just gonna jump off of what you said about taking some time. I think if it's gonna absolutely pain you to go, don't. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's if it's gonna make you feel like that, then don't. But hopefully everybody has at least one family member that they can kind of confide in, and you know, or you're able to go to your friends and spend Christmas with their family, or you know what I mean. Hopefully, or have your own Christmas. You know what? We've got to normalize.
I'm not opposed to that idea.
Yeah, we've got to normalize going on dates by yourself. We've got to normalize going out into cinema by yourself. We've got to normalize having Christmas by yourself.
I used to go cinema by myself. If I really wanted to go cinema, I'd go by myself. I don't care.
There you go. So you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And if that's for a lot of people some people don't have family at all and don't have friends, so that's their reality. So put up your tree, put up your decorations, buy all the platter of food you can, and enjoy yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, get
3 buckets of wine, sit down with your the platter of food, and be done. That's what they say: eat, drink, and be merry, innit?
Yeah, I guess that's some ways to cope. And also, just it's another day for a lot of non-Christians, because they're the ones that celebrate this. It will be another day for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you know, some people choose to work on those days if work is open. Some people choose to, you know, pick up the thing that they've been avoiding in their house for how many years. That bookcase that you've been sitting there for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, you treat it like any other Friday or whatever it is. If that's how you want.
I hear that. I think if you're actually gonna, or if you feel like you're being offended, if you're actually in the middle of it and you don't necessarily feel like that's the place to have the argument, or you don't feel like it's gonna actually get resolved, maybe just one thing to say is, I don't think this is the time or the place. Or you could probably say something like, I don't think you're in a position to listen. So if you want to talk, you talk, and just let the person talk. When they're done, or if you think they're done, are you finished? I've heard you. Thank you for letting me know. Go about your business. You don't have to. In fact, you don't even really have to take it on if you know it's foolishness as well.
You don't have to engage. No.
You don't have to engage at all. But sometimes that's the best way to shut down an argument, just to be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and if you're able to leave. I know for a lot of kids that might not be a possibility, but hopefully you can go upstairs into a different room, or you don't need to kind of separate yourself in some kind of way. But if you can leave.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would agree with that.
And if you can't leave for very long, go for walks.
Go for walks, exactly. Go for walk. Where you going? Christmas walk. I'm giving thanks.
Christmas walk.
Or I'm going for a Kwanzaa calming.
I like that.
I'm going down the road. Something, you don't have to like be all up in it too long. Yeah. I think if you just need your own space, you need your own space, and that's okay too.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And that's okay.
So yeah.
I hope that helps.
I hope this helps some people as well.
I think it's very difficult because everyone's situation is different. And so until we know the situation, it's like very generic, very surface, very go for a walk, or we'll leave the house, or but we don't know what you're going through. So you know, take what you hear, but apply it to yourself if you can, if it's even feasible. If you're young, don't worry, you'll grow up soon and you won't have to do all these things.
True. That's true. And I think as well, if you're in abusive households, it might be a bit different. Like what you can and can't do.
It would definitely be different for you.
I'd still say that even if you are in an abusive household, still try and figure out someone you can either talk to, get to, how to get away from the abusive environment. You know, try and put into place a plan.
Yeah, if you haven't been cut off and isolated from all those things.
Yeah. And even if you have, there's places like the Iris Project. And then there's also like Women's Aid and stuff like that. Presuming you're a woman, although Women's Aid do help men as well, apparently, who are being abused.
Men's Aid,
yeah. So that's also something else that you can consider.
And you can just call the police and ask for pizza.
Oh yeah, that's true actually. That is true. Can I get some pizza, please? And this is my address. And then they'll come and escort you out of the house. So these are all things that if you need to do it, you can. But yeah, we know it's a trying time for everybody for many different ways. Yeah. But hopefully you and your family will have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next time on the Sweet Thoughts podcast, guys. Bye. Subscribe. Bye.